Hey guys, Infidel 1258 here. Today I'm going to share with you a clip from a recent live event where myself and Jim Morgan are going to talk about the bot conversation and the anti-bot measures that we're actually currently proposing to introduce to Splinterlands Modern League. This is a big deal. This is a conversation between me and Jim, and also then Tales from the Cryptmancer comments in, as well as 3 or 4 or 5 other voices from my live audience. If you want to be present at these live events, maybe continue subscribing to the account or possibly become a member for the channel, and you'll be invited to even my private member only lives. One more announcement. I'm really digging the new Golemancer game, and so I've signed up. I've got videos coming for that. I hope you're excited about it. Check out the link in the description if you want to play and you want to sign up under mine. That would be huge. I'd get a little bit of hive for like the thank you, I think. So I'm loving it. Check it out, guys. All right, let's get into it. Have an amazing day. God bless. But I see a comment. I saw 2 comments that got my attention while I'm reading my comment section. Kraken was talking about the anti-bot measure, and he says that he really doesn't. He would be a strong no. He doesn't want the anti-bot measure to pass. And I don't want to focus too much on that, but I did want to mention what we talked about yesterday on the members only live, which is that proposal kind of Matt commented, right? Matt commented and said in the proposal, like, what if we didn't? Oh, I better draw it up.
Don't make a new temporary game mode. Just throw it into modern format.
Yeah, that's important. So hang on, how do I find that? I go to Splex and then, or no, I go to Peak Monsters.
It's also on
Explore.
Oh yeah. Sorry, it's Peak Monsters.
Proposals. Okay, and then let's see. Did it go through? Go expired. Did it go? Is it already like a true proposal? I guess not. Looks like
it go through. Oh yeah, it was approved because you need 66% for it to be approved.
Cool. So we're talking about the Splinterlands implementing anti-bot measures in the modern format. So I guess they did tweak it. So at first it was Splinterlands should try to implement anti-bot measures. And I was for that because I felt we should let them try. We should let people try. We should continue this conversation. People want to get rid of bots. A lot of people do. So let's talk about it. And I love that somebody put their money where their mouth was and put that post out, put this proposal forward. And so I kind of disagree with the commenter that I just read. Like he would say, I can't imagine saying no, like, let's try, let's talk. But then also Matt read the proposal and dropped a comment. And this is why one thing I wanted to say, in case not everybody knew, he came in and commented and was like, what if we, instead of creating an entirely new play mode, because they were calling for essentially like 2 modes, like you could play with bots or you could play without bots. And I think there's questions about how that would even work, but let's skip that for now. And Matt goes like, well, what if we just said modern is, was modern bot anti-bot? Oh, wow. Yeah, modern is quote unquote anti-bot, or we'll have anti-bot measures according to the proposal. But then I
was gonna say it's already in Splinterlands right now as well.
Yeah.
It just went in.
Boom, there you go. Like right now. This is so strong. Somebody with 1 million power right away said yes. I'm for it. Okay, well let's look at it. But it's the same thing. Okay, it's the same thing. Gotcha. I thought they might add something to it or whatever. But that's probably, it's got like new, it's been retitled. So I've added a small history. No, I don't want to read that. My point in bringing this up is that I wanted to highlight that Matt's suggestion to me makes a lot of sense, that it would be focused on the modern format only, because the move toward anti-bot is more of a modern movement. It wasn't in existence during the old part of the game. And so it even makes sense thematically, like you said yesterday, Jim, that the wild or the older would be kind of anything goes. And modern might be like subject to kind of testing, or right. That makes a lot of sense. And then I wanted to comment on Tails. Tails is a great comment here. And maybe let's spend the rest of our time here, 15 minutes. We'll read Tails' comment, and then we'll try to unpack or respond to it. And I'd like to hear your thoughts too, Jim.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's on the same topic. And he goes, because in my video, I said, I'm for letting people try. But I don't really think it's going to work. That's what I said. So then what's Tails say? He goes, in life, it's easy to say no, never, impossible. Meanwhile, someone with grit, determination, ultimately proves you wrong. Yep. The botting issue is not a simple yes/no problem with a simple solution. It is a complex issue that would require dedicated efforts to address. The team knows and understands the issues that predominant botting applies to the game. It is good to see traction being made on the asks and desires of the community to make changes and adjustments to try to get better state. A better state is a good keyword there, better state. Per Matt's most recent post on the pre-proposal discussed in the video, instead of creating an entirely new mode, yeah, we just talked about that. What if we tried an anti-bot in modern only? Yep, we talked about that. It'd be much better and easier. Yeah, so I think I'm hearing in Tails just like push back on my, I guess, doubt. But I want to say, and I think I clearly articulated in the video, I'm skeptical that it's going to work, but I put my yes on it for a reason. Because I actually am aiming at creating a better state. I'm in the process of that. I'm not kicking and screaming and saying, no, it's never going to work. Like, don't even try. I'm saying, I don't know that it's going to work. And I anticipate difficulty. But like he says, you don't want to just say no. And like, it's not possible, therefore let's not even try. That never makes sense to me in life or in this game. And so I was hoping there was going to be actually some more criticism here. I really feel like I agree with what Tails is saying. Jim, do you have anything to say about what Tails said there, or?
Yeah, I mean, he pretty much is just saying kind of what we all should be thinking. There's no way to just turn off all the bots.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally impossible.
Yeah.
And, you know, there might even be some times where people it wouldn't be banned, right? But they can just be removed from playing the modern format because, you know, they whatever the algorithm or whatever program it is they're using to even find these bots or whatever they're putting forward, if it's like player review, which I hope it's not, because that can get super out of hand. And you know, with like a report system.
Yeah.
You know, it's not an easy fix. This will take time. And but I'd rather start pushing that boulder up the hill than not even touching it at all.
Yep. So I was expecting a little bit of a spice from that comment from Tails. Love you, Tails, buddy. But no, I mean, I agree with you, man. You're right. We gotta try. Even, and if one piece of pushback, maybe I can see is just if it sounded like in my video, my skepticism would prevent me from saying yes to this. I'll show you right now. It doesn't. I mean, I'm for it. Let's go. That's 100,000 SPS. That's, you know, I mean, I'm not going to turn the tides, but even though I'm skeptical, whoa, look at that, dude, in the time, right? The first million said yes, and then 6.5 jumped up and we're like, well, no way.
Oh, man. Coming from a guy who bots, get rid of the bots.
Yeah. Yeah. If we could go like, okay, hang on a second. I almost said something I would regret. Here's the complicated thing in the last few minutes here, guys. If we could snap my fingers and get rid of bots, would I do it? Man, that's a complicated question. It's not yes or no. It's not like bots are entirely bad and they should all go. It's so much more complicated. And I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I think if you can't agree to that, if you can't agree, if you're hearing my voice and you're like, no, you're wrong, they're terrible, and they've never done anything good, you're wrong, and you're not even hearing the nuance of my position, which is I'm not saying they're good. I'm voting yes to let's try and get rid of them. I'm just saying, you know, there's nuance to this, man. It's because it isn't snap at the fingers and they disappear. It's implement strategies and anti-bot measures that will have ramifications that are in some sense unintended. Unintended consequences will come of our efforts to create anti-bot measures. One that I could point to you would be the modern league will change. Now you might say it's going to change entirely for the better. I would argue, yeah, probably mostly for the better. But you cannot say that we know all the unintended consequences of that. Here's off the top of my head, just a couple suggestions. What if we do this and then there's no substantive players in the Modern League? And what if it takes 6 minutes, 10 minutes to get up in the middle of the night? You can't even find a battle match. I'm telling you, that sucks. I used to play Splinterlands when there was like 100, 200, 300, 1,000 people playing, and that would happen. It sucks. You want to play the game. You want to get your daily quest going. You want to enjoy the game. You like it, and you can't. Again, I'm not making that prediction that that will happen. I'm saying, what if that happens?
It's a possibility.
Yeah. I'm cognizant that complicated problems have nuanced solutions, and that this is a famous quote from, I forget his name right now. He's an economist that I love. Thomas Sowell. Anyways, famous economist, and he says that there are no perfect solutions. There's a choice in outcomes. Like I can't nail it for you, but it's like there's no perfect solutions. There's only imperfect alternatives or something like that. Because every angle you choose is going to have a ramification that you don't even want. Like public healthcare is great, but it has lots of unintended consequences. It means that rich people who could afford to theoretically get better care, and maybe their daughter needs it, well, they can't get it. You're at the back of the line with everybody else. Or, unions are great because they ensure great, safe regulations and maybe fair living wages, etc. But they also translate to fewer people being employed, which means that there's higher unemployment, which means more families suffering, not less. There's so many complicated solutions that we often want to think black, white, bots bad, get rid of them, as if it's that simple. And that's why I approve of what we talked about earlier with that pushback. And that's why I always push back on this issue. And if you go look at my bot videos, it's always been, I think they're a problem, but I don't know how we get rid of them. Yet here we go. Dwayne puts his money where his mouth is, and I'm willing to support this effort. Yeah, man. I hope it works. I hope they prove me wrong. I hope people. You know what? A couple more minutes here, Jim. What's going on here for 6.5 million people? 6.5 million SPS to say no to this. Like, help me. What are your thoughts on why that is a no? On who's saying no? Help me understand that side of this. Who's saying no here?
You should refresh it real quick.
$7.5.
I think it's partially the people that are botting, right? I think it's some people that would rather see, them working on the roadmap and actually flushing the game out more rather than just start to get rid of bots in modern format. But the thing is, right, if you get rid of bots in the modern format, well, now people are also getting more SPS.
Yeah, if that's true,
there's less people.
That's true. The pool of SPS that exists in that league would be divided between fewer participants, which is true. That's interesting.
So, I really don't know what else other than A, they're botting, and B, they just want them to continue the game rather than focus on something else.
I think your first suggestion is probably true, and it's unfortunately cynical, right? Like we're essentially, you and I agree with you. Like there's a voice out there that's like, no, I don't want to deal with this. Like I want my bots to run the farms, and
yeah,
so they're going to say no. But I think the second solution is reasonable, actually, or a second suggestion you made. I'm sympathetic to that. The idea of like focus on the game. Don't be like, come on. You know what I mean? Land, get it out. So again, no perfect solutions, only like alternatives, right? Like if we want to slow down and try something over here, well, it's going to have implications for the attention elsewhere. That's a great point. I see some feedback from the chat here.
Uh-oh.
Great conversation. Garut, thanks. Great conversation as always, 12 and Jim. Appreciate you, man. Thanks. We need those anti-bot. He goes on. We need those anti-bot measures at whatever shape or form. I'm not sure I agree with that, but I think it is wise to explore it. Obviously, let's go on. Especially in tourneys and brawls. This to me strikes me as very important. I've never used a bot in a tournament or a brawl. I don't even know how to do that. I don't think you can with XBot, which is the one I use. And I would gladly not use XBot if, you know what I mean? Like if it became a thing where it was like a no, like somehow the team created a thing, I would love it because it would mean my game is a human experience. I think we're a long way from there, but I think it's important, like Rick, a weird bit has pointed us to, it's important that we try to make that the tournaments and the brawls a pure experience. Ghostly says, I don't think the proposal will pass, unfortunately. And Dennis said, if the proposal does not pass, the game is over. Everyone will need to bot to be competitive. This is a thought that more than him share, including some of my very close friends who really love this game. Bots are getting better and better. It was never a problem in the past because bots were weak. I think he's to some extent right about this. And I heard someone say, and I had a video about this, like we're going to get to a place where Splinterlands is an automated DeFi experience. Automated, you don't have to do anything. DeFi, meaning there's economic opportunity. Or is this a game? And we have to, this is us right now. Right now, we are fighting to decide the future of that, I think. So I do put a lot of seriousness on this. I don't know if I would go so far as to carry what Dennis said about how the game would be over if this doesn't work. Any thoughts there, Jim?
Yeah, I don't think that it would be over, right? Because this is just the first proposal, I believe, that has been pushed forward. Mm-hmm. And, further down the line, they could even be throwing in suggestions as to what it is that they can even do to take those measures.
Yes.
And it could even be people are just getting more and more sick of the bots that are happening.
Yeah.
And, people's opinions can definitely change over time. So I don't think that it necessarily means that it's just over.
Agreed. And didn't we just pass a proposal that failed recently? You know what I mean? Like, didn't we, or am I wrong about this?
Yeah, what was it?
Well, my point, regardless, I'm just trying to echo what you just said, which is that people's minds change, new suggestions come forward. This is the beginning of a conversation. It doesn't have to be the end. It doesn't all hinge on this being ratified. I mean, frankly, this suggestion isn't even fully fleshed out. If you read it deeply, it's like a couple suggestions about, it's really a request that we take this seriously more than anything. So I think this conversation, the fact that it passed to get to this place, is indicative of people taking it seriously. And whether this passes or fails, I think is a beginning of a conversation, not an end. Mm-hmm. I see a lot of passion from you guys. I see Oscar commenting. He goes, I'd immediately stop using my XBot token if we had a bot free mode. I agree. I would love it if there was a place where I could only play people. I would love that. I hope it works. And then Doc Jockey, the game is not over. Love conquers all. Love conquers all.
This is actually how adamant I am for this to pass. I actually just sold my bot. I got rid of it.
Nice.
I don't want it.
Nice.
I don't need it anymore.
And the team may make a passive income that way. Is it okay to charge money to use bots like a subscription? Then the team can make money passively. I don't think they'll ever do that, State of Survival. No. They describe themselves as bot agnostic. They don't want to, of their own will, deter bot usage unless they want to deter bot exploit advantage. And you all hear that and might say they're doing a terrible job of that. Okay, but that's their hope and their intention. They are not desiring to end bots, ban bots, but they are willing to, as we saw with Matt's comment, and Agrid said this in town halls, they're willing to follow our request because this is a game that's led by its community and a governance model that is aiming at letting the players, the investors, drive the innovation, which is amazing, man. Okay, guys, you guys are, I love the passion. I'm seeing a renewed, even though it's 2 hours already, you guys are getting excited about this conversation, but I am going to call it there. I've got other things to do. And Jimbo, I appreciate you, pal. Thanks, man. Let's see how, one last check in here. How are we doing? We are 9 million no's, still 35%, 16 million yeses. We are skirting that 66%. This is
66.7, right?
This is fun, man. This is fun. Keep your eyes on this, guys. We got 7 days, of course. But yeah, this is interesting. And even though it's not, in my mind, the beginning, or sorry, the end of the game, if it doesn't work, this is important, and I'm excited to watch what happens with this one. Also, I love that this was a community proposal. So again, more proof that, you know, decentralized governance is actually working in front of us right now. Love it. Jim, do you want to say anything before we head out of here?
I just want to say thanks for having me, man. It's always great, and I can't wait to do this again.
Yeah, me too. Okay, guys, I'm out of here for the next few days. I'm back on Sunday, late Sunday. I'm going away for a men's retreat Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I won't have connectivity. I won't be able to check comments, I don't think. Maybe a little, I don't know. So I'm going to queue up some videos for while I'm away. But Jim, thank you so much. And guys, if you want more content over this weekend and you go through what I've already got, check out the members page. There's other stuff in there too. Bye for now. Have an amazing day. God bless.